The bakery was the best bakery in all the land. Everybody talked about it. And the baker, he was so good. People came from miles around in order to buy his baked goods. They came in, they paid, they went away happy. Except for one old woman. She sat outside the door of the bakery with her little cup and a few coins, rattling her coins. And she was satisfied to just sit there and smell the bread. Every day she was right there, just sitting outside the bakery, sitting there, rattling her coins, and she would smell the bread, and she was satisfied. Now the baker, even though he was a very prosperous man, he was not happy about that old woman sitting out there. And he'd say, "Get away from here, old woman. You're blocking my door. You can't sit here. You can't sit here. Go away." And the woman said, "But I don't have very much money, and you have such a wonderful bakery, and I am just satisfied to sit here and smell the bread." Well, after a while, that baker got so upset. He said, "You know what? You must pay to smell my bread." And she says, "But I don't have any money." And so he said, "Well, I am going to take you before the town council, and we will settle this." And that's exactly what he did. He went before the town council, and he said, "All day this woman sits outside, and all she wants to do is smell my bread, and I think she should pay." And the town council sat, and they deliberated. And after a bit they said, "Well, we think that the baker has a good case here. So, yes, she must pay for the smell of his bread." But the old woman said, "Please, sirs, I know what, I'll go and ask the chief to decide this." And so that's exactly what she did. She went to the chief, and the chief said, "Well, I think I have to hear both sides of this story. So, baker, what do you want?" And the baker said, "Every day this woman sits outside my bakery, and all she does is jingle her coins and smell my bread, and I think that she should pay for that." The chief says, "Well, what about you, old woman?" And the old woman said, "Well, I don't have very much money, only these few coins. And I am satisfied to just sit there and smell the bread." So the chief said, "Well, then I will think on this." And he did, and he thought on it. And finally, he made his final decree. He said, "All right, you, baker, did you hear the sound of her coins?" And the baker said, "Why, of course, she sits there all the time." And then the chief said, "Well then, you have been paid because the sound of her coins is payment for the smell of your bread."